welcome to some Group B action here at the Online Darts Live League. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson. I will be your guide for this evening. We have had 4 days of action already with Group A and the beginning of Group C this morning. We'll get into that a little bit later on, but we have 5 more players for you this evening. We have Chaz Barstow, who is a 2-time weekly champion from phase number 1, because of course we are now in phase 2. We are looking to see who will join Martin Adams in the finals on Saturday night. And we are joined not only on the Online Darts YouTube channel, but by Sporty Stuff TV this evening. So welcome along if you are tuning in on Sporty Stuff TV. Moving forward, we are going to have Chaz Barstow and Scott Marsh in our first game. But it is Martin Adams who won Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday by the skin of his teeth. Maybe by the skin of his claws, because he needed an Arron Monk defeat in the 45th game of Group A. But Barstow and Marsh, this is what's starting us off this evening. This is a really intriguing contest, because both of these players have been in excellent form in 2021 so far. Both looking sharp, both looking slender, and both will be confident. Scott Marsh from Orpington in Kent. A really good soft tip player. We'll get more into that in due course. But has been applying his trade in steel tip darts more over the last 12 months during the pandemic. Up against one of the highest ranked amateur players in the world. Now, there haven't been a great deal of amateur tournaments held, of course, during the pandemic, aside from the Online Darts Live League. And Chaz Barstow has been quite instrumental in success when it comes to this one, because he won week 2 and he won week 8. If he picks up a 3rd weekly title, the first person to do so in 2021, he will be in the Champions Group. Now, there are 5 players in Group C, of course, but Group B, I beg your pardon. And what we can tell you is that 2 players will come from Group C, which is played this morning and will be played tomorrow. But in the case of Group B, which you will see this evening, 3 players of the 5 will come through this group to join Martin Adams, and the 2 from Group C. That will make up the 6 players that we will see on Sporty Stuff TV on Saturday night from 10 o'clock. And, of course, on the Online Darts
Chaz to throw first.
YouTube channel.
Game on.
The 6 players will then be split into 2 groups. And we will have a round-robin format of each group.
125.
Culminating in a semi-final and final. And, of course, the winner of the night will be crowned the Week 1 champion. But the important thing for Saturday night is this, to get in the top 3. If you get in the top 3, you will qualify for Week 5, which is Champions Week.
28.
And at the end of Champions Week, that's when you have the chance to play a finals night on the Saturday for a grand prize of £5,000 to the winner. A total of £10,000 is on offer on the night. So that sums it up in its entirety.
100.
But both of these guys tasted early success when the Online Darts Live League began. It was Scott Marsh who won the first weekly title on leg difference over Martin Adams.
100.
Then the following week, it was won by this guy.
100.
Immensely talented, incredibly underrated, but at Q School, back in the early part of this year, he only missed out on getting a tour card because of a heroic last day run from Danny Baggish of the United States. And if he had gone to the Pro Tour
30
via Q School, we wouldn't have seen him here. So I suppose in a roundabout sort of way, we have to thank Danny Baggish for that. Chaz Bosto has played on the Pro Tour as an alternate many, many times.
180. Chaz, you require 180.
And he's going to need this 118 now. Have you got this number, Chaz? Well, he hasn't. Big pressure applied by Scott Marsh early in this contest.
44. Scott, you require 38.
The way his darts sit in the board, I wouldn't blame him if he went straight for the double 19, but he's decided to split.
Game shot on the
It
first
was the
leg.
right choice,
Scott Marsh.
and Scott Marsh does break the throw in 6 visits, so 18 darts is good enough to get the early jump on Chaz Barstow. It hasn't been plain sailing for Chaz, of course, over the time he's played here, but most of the time he does win.
Second leg, it's Scott to throw first.
If he's going to win this contest, best of 7 legs, of course, throughout. He's going to need to break back at some point.
140.
In the early part of these sessions, I like to talk about their win percentages because there are a lot of people out there who like to have a gamble on certain games. And if you do so, please gamble responsibly, over 18s only, and begambleaware.org for more information. But of all of the players tonight,
180.
as we see Marsh hitting his second 180 in 2 legs, very impressive stuff. Got the better start.
96.
And is looking to catch Chaz a little cold. But of everybody in this group, Chaz Barstow has the best win percentage of 75%. 24 games played throughout 2021 in the Online Darts Live League.
45.
18 wins. Scott Marsh is the next best. 67.8%.
81.
28
Scott,
games
you
played,
require
19 wins. So
136.
these are the 2 form horses going at it in game 1. Well, 135 left with 2 darts. That's 58. So 78 left, confirmed by our referee Owen Binks.
62.
Would have been a good visit if he'd have hit the single 18.
$140. Scott, you
Nice
require
little
74.
piece of pressure applied by Chaz. Double 16 again for Marsh.
42.
And he gives Chaz
Chaz,
one
you
opportunity
require
to break straight
130.
back. 60 for Bull.
90.
Leaves
Scott,
tops,
you
but
require
it might be too
32.
late. There's a bounce in the step of Marsh.
Game
Sign of
shot on the
confidence.
second leg.
And the
Scott
confident Marsh goes 2-0 up. Looking good, maintaining that advantage of throw in this match. And if he stays on this sort of scoring march, Marsh will win.
Third leg, it's Chaz to throw first. Game on.
Premier League darts was completed
57.
in the league phase just before we came on the air. Congratulations to Michael van Gerwen in winning the league phase. Not for the first time.
64.
Jose de Souza and Nathan Aspinall going through, with Johnny Clayton winning the eliminator against Dimitri van den Berg a matter of 10 minutes ago.
139.
So it's MVG versus Clayton. And de Souza against Aspinall 3. That'll be their 3rd meeting in the Premier League this year
43.
to determine who makes the final. But in the case of this group, I genuinely believe that Chaz Barstow, if he doesn't get through this
57.
group, it will be a huge failure. Because of the form he showed here and on the PDC Pro Tour this year. He's been excellent.
58.
But he started somewhat slowly here. Both averages have evened out at 83, but they can play so much better than that.
100.
Tonight you're going to see Colin Monk, James Richardson, who came 2nd in Group A. That's why he's here. And Arron Monk, who finished 3rd in Group A. That's why he's here. Earlier on today, we saw
Chaz, you
a
require
perfect day for Kevin
148.
Burness. He's looking very good to get through Group C and make it to Saturday's finals.
93.
But the culmination of that group will be tomorrow from 9:30 in the morning, British time. Barstow looking to make his way into this match, and Marsh gets his third 180 again right at the end of a leg, but that's 30. 25 left. This has got a bit tricky. Marsh thinks he's going to get a shot.
35.
He was right.
Scott, you require 96.
Such a great chance this for a double break. It just got better, and Barstow can't believe it. He can't get rid of Marsh.
Game shot on the
Astonishing.
third leg. Scott Marsh.
A conversion of 276 in 5 scoring darts, 6 in total, of course, and he has pinched that leg from behind, all because Chaz Barstow hit that double 15 on the 55.
First. Game on.
If Marsh serves this out and wins 4-0, it is massive for his beginning of this group.
43.
Massive. Chaz Barstow has only lost 6 games in total
100.
in playing in the Live League this year. Of 24. His hit rate is better than everyone. Everyone. Better than Adams. Better than Arron Monk. Better than
59.
Andy Jenkins. Better than everybody who's played. Effectively, Chaz Barstow is the number 1 seed in Phase 2.
45.
Only 2 players got 2 weekly wins in Phase 1. Chaz is one of them. The other one was Kevin Burness, who had a perfect day today.
121.
But he might be starting his campaign in Group B with what we call a bagel.
135.
Oh,
45.
that's a slip. That is the chance that Barstow was begging for. Taking full advantage of it. And in she goes for his first 180, the 4th of the match. 3 for Scott, 1 for Chaz. And Chaz will be hoping 1 for him and then 40 after.
$58. Chaz, you require 41.
No real pressure applied. Double 10 again.
31.
Early misses and increased frustration in not getting rid of that leg post-haste. Having double 5 with 3 darts is no gimme.
133.
Marsh understands this and he has
10.
applied pressure. Last chance saloon. Oh, and that's a slip out of the hand dart. He can't
Scott, you
believe it.
require 42.
And now Marsh can win 4-0. Yes, that's right. He can beat the somewhat number 1 seed 4 legs to 0. And he has. Quite
Scott
incredible.
Marsh.
Scott Marsh starts Group B with a 4-0 drubbing of Chaz Barstow. I did not see that coming. Absolutely not. But it has happened, and he's done it with an 82 average. Not really the best game possible from Chaz Barstow, and he's going to have to figure things out ahead of his next contest, which will come against Arron Monk in Game 3. But before that, we will see Colin Monk and James Richardson for the first time. And welcome back to our online darts live league coverage here. And we have started with a bit of an upset with Scott Marsh winning by 4-0 against Chaz Barstow. So let's move into game 2 where we will welcome Colin Monk. We haven't seen Colin Monk since week 2 of phase 1. I'll tell you what though, it's really, really good to see him. He is one of the greats of the 90s and of the early noughties. He's been around a very long time. And he's still capable. That's why he's here. He's up against James Richardson, who improved day on day in Group A. He had a somewhat sceptical day on Monday. But then he improved a little bit on Tuesday. And then he got better yesterday. By getting better yesterday, that's why he's playing tonight, because the positions in Group A, number 2 and number 3 in the table, that's what graduated James and Colin's son Arron, who comes next,
140
to this 5-person group as opposed to the 6-person group, which happened earlier today. James is the 9-dart king as well.
45.
He got the only 9-darter in phase 1, and he's already got a 9-darter in phase 2, because on Tuesday he got that. A quite spectacular perfect leg.
100.
Not really a surprise, because he is a fabulous 180 hitter when he gets going. So expect maximum scores from him. And as if by magic,
180.
There's your first one of the night from James. He will be the favourite in this match. Not just because of his previous form this week, but because his prowess
100.
in the Online Darts Live League has been well documented. He won week 3. And when he hit his 9-darter in phase 1, he hit it against his little lad.
35.
Fancy hitting a perfect leg against your son. Let's see if Colin can do that later. That's the game I'm looking forward to tonight more than any other. Monk versus Monk. How often in sport do you get father and son playing each
90.
other?
James, you require 100.
More about that a little bit later, but it's a 1-4-1 for James. It's not for a 9-darter, it's for a 12. Still possible.
109. Colin, you require 71.
I get the feeling, the way that Colin Monk has started here, he's going to cause problems for James. First shot at a double in this match goes to Colin.
31.
That was not far away.
James, you require 32.
For an early break. Double 16 from the angle.
Game shot in the first leg.
We get
James
confirmation
Richardson.
from our referee, Owen Binks, that was in for a 14-darter. And just strength from James Richardson. That's what he's showing day on day. He could be a dark horse to win this week.
Second leg, it's James to throw first. Game on.
And I'm not just talking about tonight. All this game, I'm talking about the whole thing. He could win the weekly title.
95.
He has experience of winning one. And I think that helps. As for Colin Monk, though, great to see him. He looks in great health.
81.
Full of beans. It's just really nice to see him. And this evening, he's throwing a different dart to what we saw in phase 1. He's actually using
95.
the new Mervyn King scalloped dart with the inset grip. So he's obviously got his mitts on a set of those and fancied them from the off.
44.
They look pretty good to me. He's going to need to play well to beat this guy, though.
140.
James Richardson has
95.
had some of the best averages all week long. He hasn't had the best. Kevin Burness with the second best ever in the live league of 117.2.
131.
Only beaten by Jason Askew in week 1 in the finals, where he averaged 118.33. But Richardson has had a stack of ton plus averages this week. And he's on course for another if he keeps playing this way. Tops it is.
Game shot on the second leg. James
13
Richardson.
data from the man they call Ruthless. And you wonder why they call him Ruthless? All you have to do is look at the first 2 legs of this contest to see why. He has been ruthless.
To throw first. Game on.
As far as today's daytime session is concerned, we had Jamie Kelling, Matthew Dennant, Diogo Portela of Brazil,
85.
Kevin Burness, who bagged all 10 points that he could get, Richie Burnett and Robert Thornton, and not one game during today's session was 4-0.
57.
Then we get a 4-0 in the very first game tonight, and the way that James is playing, he's looking to serve up another. Colin did play 8 games in week 2 when we saw him last. He only won 1 of them. That was a bit harsh. He played a lot better than that. So his win percentage is down at 12.5, one of the lowest of all the players that have played. But I think that's quite misleading. He hasn't been as exposed to competitive play like some of the others. And he's still been competitive. Especially in this third leg where he is bossing it.
100.
James has had the measure of Colin Monk's son, Arron, who is the final player we will see in the next game against Chaz Barstow.
133.
He's beaten Arron 2 times out of their 3 matches this week. And they will do battle again in match 5 tonight.
140. Colin, you require 58.
So Colin has been warned that if he misses this 58, he runs the risk of being 3-0 down.
Game shot on the third leg.
No such
Colin
risk,
Monk.
because the winning legs in this match have all been very impressive. Colin Monk gets in on the party as he puts in a 14 data of around about 107 average, and it's now 2-1 to Richardson.
James to throw first. Game on.
Colin's been playing top-level darts
121.
for around about 30 years. He comes from the Martin Adams generation of BDO players. He did, of course, migrate to the PDC
85.
in the mid-noughties and made appearances at the World Match Play and lots of other events. But his biggest wins came in the BDO, including a World Masters. Only great players win that tournament.
60.
One of the changes that we have implemented over the last few days, including Saturday night's
100.
Sporty Stuff TV trophy, which was won by Richie Burnett, having a referee in the room, which has been a little bit of a comfort blanket for some of these players. Over the last few days, they haven't had to do their own scores. It means they can fully focus on playing on the hockey.
57.
6 darts from 157. He's looking to get to 3-1. That is a very good job. Whenever James has got his head down and he's walking very fast away from the dartboard, that is a really good sign of him playing well.
58. James, you require 32.
To keep the streak of 5 visit legs going,
Game shot on
that's
the
what
fourth
he has
leg.
done.
James Richardson.
We are getting nothing but world-class winning legs in this match. I think everybody should watch James Richardson because he really is on a heater tonight. He's starting fantastically.
Colin to throw first. Game on.
Average for Monk, 88.8. That's better than both players in the first game. Even Scott Marsh, who won 4-0. And Monk
59.
is 50% on his doubles. And his stats are being dwarfed by this guy. Currently averaging 106 and 60% on his doubles. 3 from 5. Masterclass so far.
45.
We've had a myriad of darting nicknames today. We've had Jamie Kelling, known as the Yellow Submarine. The Scholar, Matt Dennant. Diogo Portela from Brazil, called the Braziliant. Iron Man, Kevin Burness.
134.
The Prince of Wales, Richie Burnett. And the Thorn, Robert Thornton. Tonight we've got Ruthless in James Richardson. I think Scott Marsh is just Marshy.
85.
I'm not sure Chaz Barstow's got a nickname. If he has, I'll find out what it is. Arron Monk is the Mad Monk, but then Colin Monk is also the Mad Monk.
40.
Like father, like son. Got to pressurise James's position, and he's done a really good job of that by getting to the finish first. I think he's going to have to hit that 111.
42.
But he hasn't been pressurised.
111.
And for the first time in this match, it's likely we might not get a leg in 15 or better. And that is going to be the case if James doesn't take the 140 for the match.
James, you require 140.
2 treble 20s and double 10. So the streak has been broken.
60. Colin, you require 60.
Still up to Colin to save the match. Can he negotiate that flat dart to the right of it?
40.
He can't. And Richardson
James,
has
you
a choice here.
require 80.
Does he go 2 double tops, which is the fashionable way to go these days? 2 double tops it is. Double 10. Really good performance.
James
And yes, that
Richardson.
last leg was taken in 18 darts, but that does not detract from that performance. Everybody will take note of that. Everybody who thought they had a chance of winning tonight knows they're going to have to go through James Richardson. As you can see, an average of 100.61, 57% on his doubles. He is going to take some stopping. We're going to take a short break now, and we're going to come back with a first look at Arron Monk. He's going to take on Chaz Barstow, looking to rebound after a shock 4-0 win. So we'll be right back after the break. And welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. We've seen a couple of destructive performances so far from James Richardson and Scott Marsh. Chaz Barstow, who lost his first game by 4-0, will return in the next match against Arron Monk. That's coming up in a second. But what we did see earlier on today was the fact that the competitors in Group A, the likes of Kevin Burness, Richie Burnett and Robert Thornton, showed a lot more strength because they've had the competitive action earlier in the week. So graduating to a different group to try and get through to the finals, having that competitive experience this week seems to be the key. It's definitely worked for James Richardson, who has just registered a 100 average in a 4-1 victory over Colin Monk. So with the next game, what we have to find out is, does the experience of playing this week help Arron Monk in playing against Chaz Barstow? He will feel a little bit shell-shocked in losing by 4-0. He will have come here tonight thinking, I have an excellent chance of getting through this group in the top 3 of the 5 players, but he's been dealt an early blow by Scott Marsh, who will sit by and watch other people's stress before he comes back. But Arron Monk has got some stuff to correct. He fancied his chances of getting through Group A. He wasn't able to do so and missed out by 1 solitary game. He lost to James Richardson in game 45 of Group A. If he'd have won that, he wouldn't be here tonight. He'd already be in the finals. He'd be having a couple of days off. But because he lost that match, James and Arron are here. So Arron is now taking on Chaz Barstow. We're just about to go down to the board to see these gentlemen do battle. But Arron has got to rebound, and he's found himself a nice new shirt this evening. He was telling me a little bit earlier he was looking forward to wearing this. Yeah, it looks a bit too small for him, but then again, every shirt he wears looks a bit too small for him because of those bulging biceps of his. Well, his dad, Colin Monk, failed to register a victory in his first game, but no shame in that with James Richardson averaging 100.61. That is something that Arron Monk can definitely do. The 31-year-old from Andover, former world youth champion, of course, where he beat Michael van Gerwen in the final. Well documented. Their careers have gone in slightly different directions since then. And Chaz Barstow is only just getting started in his career. A somewhat late bloomer. And there are plenty of those in the world of darts right now. The amount of money that's come into the sport has got some people of age saying, I can do that.
Okay, first leg, it's Arron to throw first. Game on.
Arron has the darts in this one. There's no bull-up in these games this evening to determine who goes first. Everybody gets a fair crack. Well, that is a signal of intent, and maybe that's bad news for Barstow.
122.
If he gets flattened again by an opponent, he's going to be back against the wall from the off.
140.
What a start from Monk. 5 treble 20s in his first 6 darts.
62.
Now, in some conversation when he was very close to being eliminated from Group A in Week 8 of Phase 1,
141.
he said he wasn't worried about Chaz Barstow if he had to play him. Really interesting statement. And judging by the start in this match,
98.
he might be right. 40. He's on a 10-darter. He'll settle for 11 or 12.
Game shown the
and
first
I think
leg.
the most important thing about that entire leg is not just about the fact that it's a hugely successful 11-darter. It's because he got the double early, so he hasn't got any scar tissue going into leg 2.
To throw first. Game on.
Barstow is going to be bruised right
55.
now. His win percentage is getting dented. But his chances of getting through this group are getting slimmer. He's just watching on, and his opponents are having a picnic on that treble 20 mat. Incredible stuff.
45.
Well, he's finally missed something.
44.
It's not that Barstow is having a brilliant match. He's not playing poorly. There you go. There's another 180 for our referee to call. If that's what we're going to get this evening, I may have to pace myself. I have a tendency to get carried away.
97.
Our new viewers on Sporty Stuff TV might be new to my brand of commentary, but I love the sport of darts. And I have a tendency
57.
to get involved as a current/former player. Extraordinary.
140.
Absolutely extraordinary from Arron Monk.
64.
And the 164 from Barstow is not going to go. But Monk could double his lead in double quick time.
87.
Chaz Barstow, the number 1 seed, has not won a leg yet tonight.
Game shown the
He
second
still
leg.
hasn't won
Arron
one.
Monk.
If he's going to win one, at this rate, he might need a perfect leg. Quite astonishing display from Monk. Really, really strong. And if this is something to do with that new top,
Third
keep
leg,
it on,
it's
Arron.
Arron to throw first. Game on.
Arron is well noted for being an underachiever in senior darts.
96.
He's won stacks of local tournaments around the area where he's lived all his life. He's won that World Youth Championship. Of course, he's won
42.
development tour titles within the PDC system as well as a youth player. But at senior level, he is noted as an underachiever. But the good thing is,
57.
he's only 31. He's still got lots of time ahead of him to put that right.
60.
You think about players like Jose de Souza, who has qualified for the playoffs in the Premier League tonight. He's a lot older, and he's still in the infancy of his career, even though he hasn't underachieved.
99.
Arron has time, and he's trying to use the Online Darts Live League as a springboard back to where he feels he belongs.
84.
No matter where you look in this match, it seems like Arron Monk has the answers.
96.
And in a format where you have to score more points than your opponents in a table, and you will be separated
98.
by leg difference
Arron,
if you've
you
got the same
require
points.
153.
Right now, the people getting beaten are being beaten by big margins, which is not good for their leg difference. Treble 19.
99.
A look of resignation almost from the face of Chaz. No matter what he sees from the back of the room, it's good stuff.
96. Arron, you require 54.
Even when Arron's had a somewhat suspect leg, it's for a 17, which is still very good.
34.
And he finally misses something.
Chaz, you require 121.
You might see some sort of ironic celebration if this goes. 11 for Bull. Double 14.
93.
And you can see what it meant
Arron,
to
you
him.
require 20.
Just wanted to get a foundation in the game. Monk, who loves double 10.
Game shown the third leg. Arron Monk.
I hate to say I told you so, but when you've watched Arron Monk for as long as I have over the last 10 to 12 years, you get to know what his favourite doubles are. He's 3-0 up,
Flag, it's
and
Chaz
Chaz
to throw
Barstow
first.
still hasn't won a leg tonight.
Game on. .40.
The best average of the week for Arron was 107.59.
.96.
Very much like James Richardson, he played 15 matches in Group A, won 8
.96.
and lost 7. An average over the week of of around about 91,
100.
which is very, very decent. A high check out of 120. And I suppose with the amount of games he's played and the amount of legs he's played, that's quite surprising.
140.
Richardson has had the biggest finish of the week in a 170. And he's had a 9-darter, so there are not many boxes that Richardson hasn't ticked.
93.
On Monday, Arron got 4 points, and then he got 6 on Tuesday and Wednesday.
65.
So fairly consistent, but he did leave points out there. He only needed one more win to win the group. And that was his parting shot when he left the arena yesterday.
81.
He was devastated not to win the group.
Chaz,
He
you
said,
require
just one more win
160.
would have got me there. Well, one more leg will get him a win here.
60. Arron, you
He will
require
go treble 17 first here to
131.
leave 2 double tops. Not going to take it out. So one more mistake from Barstow. He's going to leave himself on
91.
double 20.
Chaz, you require 100.
One more miss from Chaz. And Arron's in for the win. Now he gets the chance.
60. Arron, you require
And Chaz has
40.
shown him the way. Same double. Double 10 again.
Game shot
Same
out of
result.
match.
Chaz
Arron
Barstow, our number 1 seed, is the sacrificial lamb tonight. He has been done by 4 legs to nil, not once now, but twice. His leg difference is now -8 and he has no points. But Scott Marsh has 2 points. Arron Monk has 2 points, and so does James Richardson. There you see the average of Barstow is very similar to his first game, but Arron Monk with a 98.56 and 44% on the doubles. Very, very strong indeed. We go into the next game, which is Scott Marsh and Colin Monk. Scott Marsh gets a second win. He's going to be very strong in this group. We'll see what they do after the break. Hello and welcome back to our coverage of the Online Darts Live League. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson, and you may not know me, but I have a nickname as well because I am a former dart player. But we're going into match number 4 now. We've had some shocks here. We've just got a little graphic here for you to show you what's happened so far. Arron Monk has a win from his first game, as does Scott Marsh, and James Richardson too. But you look at the Chaz Barstow. Played 2, won none, lost 2, and -8. He's lost 4-0 in his first 2 games. And you might think, if you're tuning in for the first time, that maybe Chaz Barstow is the worst player in the group. I promise you that is not the case. He has run into 2 players who have either taken all of their chances or they've gone up against someone who's played brilliantly in Arron Monk. Well, Arron takes a little breather. We will see more from him in due course. But we're going to focus on his dad now, Colin Monk, who was looking to respond after losing 4-1 to James Richardson in match 2. One of the people to beat Chaz Barstow by 4-0, the man in black, Scott Marsh. But Colin Monk, the 53-year-old from Basingstoke, very well known in darting circles for many, many years. He is a steel-tip player, as Colin Monk always has been and always will be. He is a traditionalist. But Scott Marsh is a little bit different. He's a 21st century player, in my opinion.
Scott to throw first. Game on.
We know he's a very good steel-tip player, and if you aren't familiar with the difference between steel-tip darts and soft-tip darts, this is the short version. In steel-tip darts, you throw
41.
a dart at a board, of course, and the pointy end is made of steel, and it goes into a board made of sisal, which is a plant material. That's the board you can see on your left. In soft-tip darts, you throw a dart at a board,
100.
but the darts have a plastic point. It's actually quite flexible. And the board is a computer full of sensors. Well, Scott is one of the best soft-tip players in Europe. Applied his trade at soft-tip stuff, playing in Europe and the Far East predominantly. But has pitted his wits against steel-tip players more during the pandemic because it's just been easier for him. Played a lot of live league darts last year. Had some great performances as well. A best average of 114.
96.
Very, very hard to beat last year. And this year is definitely the case as well. His win percentage this year, before his first match,
100.
was 67%. That has gone up a tad because he's now won his first game. So he's played 29 matches and won 20. That's a great hit rate. That is a slip dart. That was for the treble 18, which
84.
tactically was a bad choice. So Monk has stolen the darts after 3 visits. Well, 25 off that, 155.
44.
And that is an under par visit. That just invites Scott Marsh back into this leg, who had immense approach play to doubles against Chaz Barstow.
60.
He was forced to stay on the 20s there.
136.
I don't blame him for sticking on a blocked treble. Great first start. Needs another. Very nearly got it.
96.
Just gets the single 16.
120.
That was in by the skin of its teeth. Now, can he see the 60? Maybe a fifth of it. He did have the option of going 2 bullseyes.
Colin,
that wouldn't have been
require
arrogant
40.
to go that way. It would have been quite sensible. Tops for Monk. Now that dart is flattened out, which blocks some of the bed.
20.
And as a result, it did stop that dart from nestling
Scott, you
under.
require 60.
Both players getting their darts to land very flat. Nope. Sorry, Scott. It's not in.
40.
And neither is that one. They were both very close.
Colin, you require
But you
20.
get nothing for close in this game.
Game shot on the first leg.
When it
Colin
goes in,
Monk.
you get something, though. And what Colin Monk has received for that first leg is not just a leg, but it's a break of throw as well. So does he find himself in the box seat now? Maybe.
Second leg, it's
Let's go to
Colin
leg
to
2 and
throw
see what he
first.
can do with a hold, potentially.
Game on.
The old saying goes as such. It's not a break of throw unless you hold in the next leg. It's so true.
30.
I mentioned the fact that Colin is playing this evening, as is his son Arron. Father-son combinations are not a rarity in
180.
darts. They're just great when they come along. Colin and Arron Monk. James and Josh Richardson. They've played each other in the live league. Another 180 to back up the maximum
180.
of Scott Marsh. Great stuff from Monk. Great response. And of course, on the Pro Tour, you've got Steve Brown and John Brown.
60.
Don't forget the brothers Tony and Steve West, who have pitted their wits against each other for quite a few years on tour. Darts can sometimes be a family affair.
140.
What a great leg from Colin Monk. Could have easily wilted under the pressure of the scoring of Marsh. And if anything, he's got stronger. If Colin Monk wins this match, I think
97.
the phrase
Colin,
that
you
comes to
require
mind involves
151.
a cat and some pigeons. Treble 17. Treble 14 will be handy here. That's what he gets.
119.
This is a great
Scott, you
display from
require
Colin.
164.
Another great lie. Wasn't able to negotiate it.
124. Colin, you require 32.
So Monk broke in leg 1 and has 3 darts to hold here. He can use that.
Game shot.
That
second
is
leg.
experience right there. That's what he knows. That's what he can do on the dartboard. 30 years of experience told him that dart was perfect. He didn't go for the double. He went for the dart, and it nestled in.
Game on.
Colin Monk is not old.
72.
He's experienced. He is a Hampshire great. He's donned that sky blue Hampshire shirt many, many times, including the England jersey, in a time
100.
where playing for England was a thing of greatness. Playing in the same England teams as Martin Adams, Andy Fordham, Mervyn King, Tony O'Shea,
135.
Daryl Fitton. I could go on and on and on. Steve Beaton, Kevin Painter, Alan Warren a Little, the great Phil Nixon.
85.
Back when Colin was in that
60.
team, you had to be a world-class player to play for England. And of course, making a semi-final in a World
45.
Championship is not an easy thing to do. He's done it. His time as a PDC player didn't bear much fruit.
140.
It didn't bring him titles. But he can still fling a mean dart. Looking for a 171 here to leave a ton. And he might get it.
134. Scott, you require
Still
94.
a very, very good visit. Might go double-double here if he's feeling a bit frisky. But that was a very safe try.
54. Colin, you require 100.
Now, Monk has been a little bit creative with his finishing tonight. And his approach play. And for a moment, I thought he might go for treble 19 first to leave 2 double tops.
75 scored.
He's just doing his mental arithmetic, and so am I. 60 leaves 77, so he's got 62 left. That is perfectly done. In case Scott stutters on tops. Double 10 now. Last chance at this visit.
Game show on the third leg.
Very, very good.
Scott
And I think the noise that I made in commentary there, the ooh, I think that's exactly what Scott was thinking. Because very similarly to Colin Monk in the previous leg, he didn't go for the double. He went for the dart. It bounced in.
Game on.
He knows that was a pressure shot. Because if he misses that and Monk gets in, he's 3-0 down.
85.
Our viewers on the Online Darts YouTube channel and Sporty Stuff TV, what I want you to do this evening is watch not only the player throwing, but the player behind them.
140.
You will learn about the player in the background, about the faces they pull, the kind of player they are. Look at Scott Marsh steadying himself.
100.
Pounding the stomach. Dart players that wear their heart on their sleeve. Darts is not just about when you're throwing. You spend more time not throwing
60.
in a match. So throwing's only half the battle. You have to master this half of the room and the other half. Great dart players can have patience at the back of the room
100.
and poise at the oche. That's my philosophy. It's rather apt that the word philosophy starts with Phil,
140.
the greatest darts player of all time. Nice, steady scoring leg here from Scott Marsh, whose best average in playing in this year's live league is 100.42.
161.
He's not at that point in this game. He's averaging 89.1. But he's in battling mode right now.
59.
And
Colin,
that, believe it or not, is actually quite a nice
156.
miss at the 25. He'd rather get the small 19 than a small 3. But Monk is looking for a very tidy 156.
100. Scott, you require 102.
Now, we don't know what's going to happen in the coming legs, but if Scott Marsh wants to win this match, he might have to hit this.
20 scored yet.
What does he do? Does he stay on the 60 to go for a double 11? The lie's good.
80.
Didn't need the lie. That was a pure dart.
Game
And so was
on the
that.
fourth leg. Scott Marsh.
I think we're seeing a little bit of gumption from Scott Marsh, and I don't mind that whatsoever. This is a very truncated group. There's not a great deal of games for them to play. Only 8 in total, and that 102 checkout keeps him in this match.
Scott to throw first. Game on.
I don't think Colin minds that they're giving it some in there. Colin's given it some in his career.
100.
He's won titles all over Europe. In doing so, I'm sure he's given it a fist pump or two.
$43.
Biggest 180 hitter, in case you're looking for a market on the 180s tonight. Well, the most likely to get 180s is Chaz Barstow. His hit rate is 0.35.
100.
I would explain the ratios to you, but it'd probably take me all night. He hasn't got the most 180s, Chaz, but he has got the best ratio. The most 180s hit belongs to James Richardson because he's played more matches.
140.
He's actually played more than twice the amount of matches that Chaz has. Hence that statistic.
$80.
318 is a very tricky position. He's not going to leave a finish now. And Scott Marsh has got to recognise
97.
this opportunity. He was in trouble at 2-0 down. He had a key shot at double 10 with the third dart at a visit
100.
to get his first leg of the contest. If he missed that and Colin hit, he was 3-0 down. But now he's in command and looking at a 3-2 lead. So this is going to be the closest match we've had tonight.
21. Scott, you require 121.
This will not frighten him whatsoever, and especially when he's got the first dart. Double 8.
105.
Very, very tidy try. He has the guaranteed revisit, and he is now in control of this match. If you get to 3-2 in a best-of-7 match, you will have 2 opportunities to get rid of the game and bag the points.
60.
And in Scott's case,
Scott, you require
it is to double
60.
his points tally. To get to that point, he needs double 8.
Game show on the 5th leg.
That is what he
Scott
does.
Marsh.
With a 17 dart leg, which is averaging around 88 in that leg, which is very symptomatic of what he's done in this match. He's just shy of the 90 mark, so this has been steady without being spectacular.
Game on.
Colin seems to have come down a little bit since that really good start.
100.
Still playing at a very steady level of around 87.5. 2 from 6 on his doubles, so 33% there. That's very respectable.
43.
But great players have good timing. They find the right shots at the right time. That's exactly what Marsh did in his first game. He's taken advantage
100.
of the chances he has given himself in this match. But he needs to get a move on here if he wants to win 4-2.
140.
It's almost like he can hear me. He's in the same position that Monk was in the last leg on 3-1-8. You will not tonight see anybody use the lateral movement on the oche more than Colin Monk. He will go right and left all the time. That's his game.
$83.
Staying in touch. Marsh is doing a good job here of pestering Colin. And if he slips up once, Marsh is going to be there. There's another bit of lateral movement. Doesn't need to move for this one. And there's why.
180.
He's now leading the 180 stats in this game. He's 2-1 up.
$57.
25 would have left the finish, 40. But he fails to get it. And Monk is in Dream Street here. And for the very first time tonight, we are going to leg 7. And I really do believe that this game deserves to go all the way. Colin Monk has brilliantly got himself a 13 darter there. So into leg 7 we go.
From final leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
There's a lot of teeth gritting going on in this match from Scott.
57.
It's great to watch. If you didn't catch our earlier session with Richie Burnett, you missed a treat. He was like a frog in a sock. He was so animated with everything he was doing.
140.
He had a pretty decent day, did Richie. Very good friend of Colin Monk. Comes from that generation of players from the late 90s. Bossing European darts. We're going to go to the very end here.
60.
And Scott Marsh, after 6 darts, still holds the advantage. 19s has to be first here. Stay there. Now he can't leave a finish.
77.
But at least he used the right tactic. You're not going to leave a finish all the time from 309. But you have to give yourself the best opportunity of doing so.
$78.
Colin just won't go away. He's the one shaking his head in the background now. But Marsh gets a vital 140. That gets him under 100. How much can Colin trouble the position of Marsh going into the final furlong of this match? He's got to go 19s now. He can't stay on the 60. You can't stay on the 60, Colin. I assure you, you can't hear me. But maybe his darting brain was screaming
97.
at him right there.
Scott, you require
Single
92.
20 would have left a bogey number. That leaves 67. That leaves the bull. Oh, that's a beauty.
Scott
Oh,
Marsh.
that's fantastic. That's a Jazelenko right there in AFL terms. Inch perfect, or as they used to say in Australia, centimetre perfect. A 92 checkout gets him a nice 4-3 win. So he doubles his points. Really good on the doubles, as you can see, 40%, 89.15 in the average. So he has the lesser average than Colin. But, like we always say, averages sometimes lie. We're going to go into match number 5 next. Richardson against Monk comes up. This is going to be their 4th meeting of the week. Should be a belter coming up after the break. welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. It's been a very, very lively evening, and we're not going to hang around. We're going to go straight down to the board here to find Arron Monk and James Richardson, who will do battle for the 4th time this week. They've already played 3 times in Group A, and in Group A, it was Richardson who had the upper hand, winning 2 of their 3 meetings. The third one was very important indeed. That one stipulated why Arron is here. We'll get into that in a second. They have met one other time previously in 2016, but they haven't met each other for 5 years. Incredible, really, when you think about it. They've been swimming in the same darts pools for a while.
Okay, first leg, it's James to throw first.
But I'll be fascinated to see Arron's reaction in this game, not just to losing to Richardson yesterday, because losing that match meant that he didn't win Group A. It went to the very last game of Group A, and it was between these two. But to double up on that, I want to see the reaction of Monk to beating Chaz Barstow in Game 3. If he maintains intensity and aggression against Richardson, he has every chance
99.
here. But we could be seeing the 2 strongest players here this evening. They've got no excuse
93.
not to be sharp tonight, because they've had 3 days of action. They'll be darts fit. They'll have brushed off any cobwebs, any ring rust.
121.
And this has got every possibility of being a brilliant game. Richardson gets a very tidy start.
93.
And he's got plenty of darts to negotiate leg 1. Knows all about 141s. He's hit 2 of them.
87.
And both of them have been for 9 darters. So nothing, if not a bit of a show-off.
James, you require 54.
Arron can chalk this first leg down to a bit of practice, because on the throw, Richardson is looking good for the win.
44.
Maybe not yet. As to why James Richardson steps to the left when he goes for double 10, I still haven't figured it out.
83.
Maybe his natural miss on
James,
double 10 from the middle of the
10.
hockey is right, so he's trying to correct that. It didn't work that time.
Game shot on the
But double
first leg.
5
James
did
Richardson.
work. Did you see how much he had to aim at? He didn't go for the middle of the bed there. That's what every dart player does originally. But his first guide was to the right, so was his second, and he bounced it in.
First. Game on.
Really intelligent darts there from James. We have nothing if not lots of experience here,
85.
even with the 31-year-old Arron Monk, the youngest person in this group. The early signs tell us that Richardson may be the one to beat. He's already beaten Colin Monk 4-1. He's looking to do the family double in beating Arron Monk. Colin returns in the next match against Barstow, who's still looking for his first leg of the night.
40.
That is something I can't believe I've just said. Just to reiterate,
96.
if you have just joined us, of course, whether it's on Sporty Stuff TV or the Online Darts YouTube channel,
100.
it will be the top 3 of 5 players who progress from this group tomorrow night into the finals group on Saturday night, which will be aired on Sporty Stuff TV.
100.
Check your local listings for that.
James, you require 138.
138, known as the Della.
58. Arron, you require 120.
This one is known as the Ladder. You've got to climb to the top if you get those two.
Game
Ooh,
shot on
in
the
she
second
goes.
leg. Arron Monk.
It is Thursday night, and I think we're starting to open up a little bit of aggression, and I don't mind that whatsoever. I want them to do this. This is really good. Arron equalises at 1-1.
It's James to throw first. Game on.
He wants revenge, doesn't he? And make no mistake, these
57.
players won't mind letting off a bit of steam. They've been like caged animals in the last 12 months. They've not been allowed to do this kind of thing.
140.
And Arron is an aggressive player. He plays his best when he's like this. But there is a point where sometimes Arron can take it too far. So he's just got to temper what he does.
46.
At times this week he has been excellent at tempering his aggressive nature. But he has lost the plot in a small way a couple of times.
100.
At one point he did stamp on the hockey, and a couple of players did notice that. That's something you shouldn't really do. But that's one of the reasons why we like watching Arron play it.
58.
Because what you see is what you get. He wants to win.
$100.
Very even in the averages in the early stages. They're not attaining the levels that we have seen from their A-plus game
James, you require
earlier in the week.
144.
If one of them did that, maybe they would streak away with this one.
140.
That's not the usual way of leaving 2-2, but I categorised Arron Monk as an aggressive player.
97.
James is very much cut from the same cloth. 2-2.
Game shot on the third leg.
And
James
maybe,
Richardson.
just maybe, there is a little bit of method in the madness of hitting 140 to leave 2-2. It's not the usual way to go, but if you get it, well, he's the boss.
Arron to throw first. Game on.
And he is the boss of this game. 2-1 up. But we're still on throw here. Average for Richardson, 94.6. 86 for Monk. So this is not his best performance.
100.
Whoever wins this game will go to 4 points and join Scott Marsh on that mark.
100.
When they've played each other this week, it was a Richardson win
125.
by 4-2 on Monday. Arron Monk got revenge on Tuesday by 4-1. Then it was 4-1 to James yesterday.
140.
So if we follow that pattern, Arron wins this one, but it doesn't work like that in darts. It's not that simple. Arron will hope it's that simple, but I'm sorry, I can't promise that. I do not have a darting crystal ball.
123. Arron, you require 100.
James is determined to hit a 138 checkout tonight, isn't he? That's the second time he's left it in this match. And at times, when Arron plays, watch out for a bit of creative counting
44.
and creative thinking on numbers.
James, you require 138.
He might go bull on that 107 if he's given the shot. If he's given the shot.
98.
If has turned into when.
Arron, you require 107.
Downstairs. Double 19 bull. Bullseye. Hit it earlier in the week.
76.
And that's why
James,
we saw that
require
unconventional try. A lot of method in that one. Double 10. Big shot. Another step to the left. And this time, he gets it right. The last time he performed that little shimmy to the left and went for double 10, he just went on the inside. But it seems to work. He's 3-1 up, so who are we to criticise? He is the man.
Fifth leg, it's James to throw first. Game on.
And if he wins this leg, he will not only bag 2 points,
100.
he will gain a better leg difference than Scott Marsh at the top of the table. So he will be number 1. He will go to plus 6.
140.
1 ahead of Scott. We
100.
had a bit of an international flavour in our group earlier today with Jamie Kelling of England, Matt Dennett of England, Diogo Portela of Brazil, Kevin Burness of
83.
Northern Ireland, Richie Burnett of Wales, and Robert Thornton of Scotland. But everybody in this group is English.
48.
As for week 2 next week, Chris Mason will be in the hot seat. He'll take you through everything. And as for the players for next week,
140.
I will announce the groups on Saturday night, live on Sporty Stuff TV.
Arron,
Richardson's left this twice. Now it's Arron's turn at the 138. Surely someone's going to hit it. Maybe I'm wrong. Not the best approach shot from the former youth champion of the world. But he has not been put under pressure after that wild collision with his second dart, only leaving himself on 155. Well, that one I can't explain because that should have been for a single 20.
49. James, you require 150.
Now, the likelihood is Arron will return, but James is capable of hitting this.
57. Arron, you require 40.
Hasn't had the greatest of times on tops tonight, but tens has been a different story.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Arron Monk.
A little bit of a languid walk to the board to grasp that dart away from double 10. He should be really happy because every time he goes for double 10, he seems to hit it. 2 more to go to snag a victory away from
Arron
James.
to throw first. Game on.
Technically, this game is now on throw. Based on James having
85.
the throw at the beginning in the odd-numbered legs. This is a position that Arron should have expected.
58.
In playing 4 matches in an evening, like they are tonight, if you want to have a perfect evening, you're going to have to break people's throws.
59.
It's as simple as that. And if you don't, you might have to settle for something like 4 points for the night. Well, James does not want to settle for 4. He wants to get to 4 with a win in this game. But I think he will eye 8 points if he gets the win.
140.
What's the facial expression of Richardson when he gets a big score?
135.
He stares that board down. Now he goes to the 19s to put enormous pressure on this 128.
139.
That's good pressure.
James, you require 128.
But this is a first chance to win the match. At the bull.
103.
Narrowly missed. And Monk knows that if this doesn't go, he might lose this match in the next visit. Double top has got to come up trumps here.
58.
Well, he can't really explain that one.
James, you require
But it is very
25.
symptomatic of his miss this week, which has been low. Double 11. It wasn't meant. He was going for the 17 for double 4.
3.
And maybe for that reason,
Arron, you require
he
20.
felt a little bit off kilt. Double
Game
10
shot on the sick
comes up
flag.
trumps
Arron Monk.
once again. Arron, take some advice from yourself. Keep leaving double 10 because when you go into that region, you hit it. One breaker throw needed to get an unlikely 2 points.
Game on.
How will the 3 missed match darts affect James?
96.
Arron's free rolling now because he should have been beaten. This is now just a bonus
100.
opportunity to steal the game away from James. And it's the second time in a row we've gone to the 7th leg.
100.
Has to turn up here to stay in touch.
100.
Does a very good job of that. I mentioned the miss of Monk earlier in the week was low. Predominantly his first start was in the small 20. And he was performing some exercises at the back of the room to try and keep his elbow high. It's been better this evening.
81.
That's okay. He knows a maximum next time round will leave him on tops. Oh,
66.
that last start has made things very, very difficult for James. He was thinking of leaving himself on 80 after that visit.
140.
And now he's in a bit of a tight squeeze.
139. 59.
Leaves himself on what Arron already has.
80.
He's going to look north. Cautious. To give himself 1 match dart.
60.
And he's missed tops again. He thought it was in.
James, you require 80.
If the referee doesn't say it's in, it's not. He goes 2 double tops.
Game shot down the match.
And he has got it.
James Richardson.
I don't know what this new fad is about going double top with 80. It must be Jose de Souza, the effect of him doing 3 double tops at the Premier League tonight and 2 double tops. Well, everybody's trying it these days. James Richardson gets a second win of the evening at the expense of Arron Monk. You can see the averages are very similar and the checkered percentages were in the favour of Arron, but in the end he wasn't able to take the 1 match start he gave himself. After the break, we are going to get another dose of Chaz Barstow in Game 6, and I suppose the question is, can he get a leg, Chaz? Can he get a win? Because you're up against Colin Monk in a few moments' time after the break. Hello and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League here, and we've had a fantastic first half of play this evening. We started with some destructive displays, but over the last couple of games things have got a little bit tighter as we've had a couple of 4-3 victories. One for James Richardson and one for Scott Marsh. You can see our Live League table there on the bottom of your screen. Scott Marsh currently at the top by 1 leg on leg difference because he has the same points as James Richardson. The Monks, they're in 3rd and 4th. But Chaz Barstow at the foot of the table, seeing as he hasn't even won a leg this evening. Will that change against his opponent at the foot of the table as well on 0 points, Colin Monk? Well, his previous record against Colin Monk in the Online Darts Live League, that should possibly make Chaz smile a little bit more because they played each other twice in week 2. Chaz won by 4 legs to 0 and 4 legs to 1. So if he can replicate that, he will maybe breathe a sigh of relief because it hasn't gone his way this evening.
81.
I think full credit has to be paid to Scott Marsh, who I think caught Chaz a little cold in game 1.
62.
But as far as Arron is concerned, in game 3, that was a really good performance, especially in the first couple of legs. Colin's first couple of games,
97.
lost to James Richardson in game 2. But James had the performance of the night so far, averaging just over 100.
59.
And then he lost a narrow, excellent contest to Scott Marsh in game 4. So it's still just the 1 win in his Online Darts career.
140.
So Colin has now played 10 games with only 1 win.
100.
Is it going to be lucky number 11 for Colin Monk? Even though I don't believe in luck in darts. There's such a thing as good fortune, but luck, no. It's all about skill.
97.
Standard-wise tonight, I've actually thought that Colin's played all right. 86 in his first game, 91 stroke 92
Colin, you
in his
require
second.
86.
He's playing at a good standard. And he's continuing that good standard in this leg against the throw. Look at that. Right in the middle of the treble 18.
70.
He gives Chaz Barstow a shot at the 127 in game,
127.
as we see in the game of darts. You can sense the tension from Chaz Barstow.
59.
He's wondering when he's going to get his first leg.
Game shot in the
Well,
first
it's not going to be in that leg
Colin
because
Monk.
he's been broken once again. That is now 9 legs in a row that Chaz Barstow has lost. And if you'd have had a punt on that a little bit earlier tonight, you would have got odds in the thousands. I promise you that. Colin Monk,
Second
1-0
leg,
up.
it's Colin to throw first. Game on.
Chaz sporting a shirt tonight and a bit of a smirk at the start of leg 2. That shirt looking a bit like the Doppler effect.
40. 58.
We have a top of the table clash to come in the next match. Marsh and Richardson will go head to head to see who will be the first person to 6 points.
60.
One of those players will play their last game of the night and have the chance for the perfect 8 points for the evening. And considering 3 players progress from this group tomorrow, they will have 1 foot in the next phase, which is on Saturday night.
100.
6-person group where all 6 players will be split into 2 different groups. Great stuff
171.
from Chaz Barstow. The perfect visit. Lots of method in going 19s first on 303. Dart players, in my opinion, these days are as mathematically astute as they have
59.
ever been.
Chaz, you require 132.
Not to say that the players from yesteryear weren't, but this is for 132. Oh, that would have been somewhere to get your first leg of the night. A 303 and 6. What a try that was. Well, surely he's going to get his first leg now. If and when he does, there's going to be a huge sigh of relief.
20.
Double 10. Double 5.
Game shot on the second leg.
There it
Chaz
is.
Barstow.
A little signal from both hands as if to say it's about time we got our first leg. Now we have something to build on. We might see the real Chaz Barstow from now on.
It's Chaz to throw first. Game on.
Sometimes you do need a bit of a spark, don't you?
140.
Maybe that 171 was it. He hasn't been hitting that treble 20 with the regularity
21.
that we've associated with him this year tonight. But maybe he's about to find his range.
140.
It's starting to kick in now, the closer we get to midnight here in the UK. We've had viewers from all around the world throughout Phase 1 and the early stages of Phase 2.
100.
We've had tweets from Sweden, California, Australia, all parts of the UK.
57.
People all over the world love their darts. Massively. Huge in the Netherlands and Germany.
99.
You would
Chaz,
not
require
believe how big it is in
164.
Japan. Another. Would have left the bull. No, he's got 76 scored, so that leaves 88.
88 left. 92.
That will do. Seems to be getting this game by the scruff of the neck. I had a nice tweet from somebody this evening letting me know that
95.
Chaz has played
Chaz, you
alongside the
require
Monks
72.
in local competitions and local leagues for quite some time, so they do know each other quite well. Tops.
Game shot on the
In
third
she goes,
leg.
and he's
Chaz
starting
Barstow.
to do what we expect from him. He has taken the lead after being 1-0 down after losing 9 legs in a row this evening. He has now won 2 on the bounce, so maybe he's starting to show us what he can do.
First. Game on.
I also had a tweet from somebody asking about Colin's darts. Someone said they look very
45.
similar to the Mervyn King darts that were released earlier this year. I can confirm that they are the Mervyn King darts. I've had a go of them.
140.
They're very nice. Tungsten of choice for Chaz
60.
is a bit old school. They don't really make darts like this anymore. Just a big, thick bit of tungsten. Throw in some aesthetic
99.
red rings. I think those darts are quite old. You do tend to find that certain players will hang on to one set and use them
81.
for a very, very long time.
$98.
That's a useful visit. Leaves him on 164 for the second leg in succession.
$49. Chaz, you require 164.
He's got 6 darts for it once again. So everything's going his way to potentially get a third straight win against Colin Monk in live league action this year. He is picking this board apart with more efficiency than at any point this evening.
137. Chaz, you require
Has left
68.
the finish. It's not an easy one. You'd much rather have Chaz's shot because he's got a shot at a double.
52.
Now, if Colin
you require
gets the treble 19 here, he does have a double-double option.
57 scored.
So that leaves 72.
72 left.
Might go treble 12, though. Old school. His son would have gone 2 double 18s. I guarantee you that. Chaz for double 8 then.
Game shot on the
And
fourth
that is
leg.
a third consecutive leg. It's completed in 16 darts, which is around about the 94 average for the leg. It's a much tidier display from Chaz, and he's looking very good to get his first win of the night.
Game on.
I
57.
can't help but think, though, in the race to get through this group, if Barstow does not make it through, that's a big, big upset.
$180.
And you're going to see some tenacity now from Monk. He's not going to give up the ghost that easily. Back comes Barstow.
180.
Nice respect paid there by Monk, seeing good darts. What is it they say these days? Game recognizing game. Oh, brilliant!
77.
Proper darts. And Monk sets up a 9 shot. Oh, the internet will explode if this goes in.
134.
Come on, Colin. Do it for the old guard. Get in. Another. It's not there. Oh, it was so close. And even Bosto wanted him to hit it. So did I, and I'm sure you did too.
96.
Great effort, Colin. Great effort.
Require 130.
This is for the match. That would have been
59.
brutal.
Colin, you require 48.
Monk has done so well to get this chance. To save the match, he needs double 8.
32.
And he might be tasting defeat now
Chaz, you require
after
71.
a heroic try. 54. Hasn't had a match start all night long, and he's not going to get one here. Well, well, well.
Colin, you require 16.
Do what the referee tells you. Rule number 1 of finishing. Double 4.
12.
It just hasn't happened.
Chaz, you require
After
40.
a perfect start to the leg, it looks like it's defeat for Colin Monk.
Game shot
And
and the
that
match.
is what it is.
Cheers, Barstow.
Somewhat stolen leg in the end. Colin Monk's run of defeats is increased to 3, but not without a small fight back at the start of that last leg. You see that Chaz Barstow has had a better average there, just a shade over 90 and 44% on his doubles, but that doesn't tell you the full story of that match. I think when he got his first leg, it was just a case of a monkey off his back, and now he can play properly. We are now going to have a top-of-the-table clash as Marsh and James Richardson will go head-to-head to see who gets to 6 points. That's coming up in a few short moments after the break. Hello and welcome back to our online darts live league action for tonight. We are just about to take the midnight hour, so let's move into Friday morning with a top of the table clash here in Group B. Scott Marsh versus James Richardson. Both of them are undefeated after playing 2 matches each. Chaz, Barstow and Colin Monk have now played 3. Colin Monk yet to register a win. Barstow with his first win against Colin. So these two are looking to separate themselves from most of the people in the group. One of them will have the opportunity of finishing the night undefeated. And that is the person who wins this match and then goes on to their final match later on. James Richardson after this does play Chaz Barstow in game number 9. Scott Marsh will close the show against Arron Monk, and that could be a fiery encounter depending on what Arron does against his dad next. That is my match of the night.
59.
Because how often do you get to see a dad play his son? It is the Monk Derby next, but first it's the top of the table clash with Marsh and Richardson.
83.
This one is going to be rather quick. Yes, Scott takes his time in getting to the hockey, but when he's there, he doesn't hang around.
140.
He's a very animated player. He's not of the same sort of ilk as Richie Burnett. He's not got the scorpion kick follow through.
140.
Or indeed all of the gesticulating when he goes to the board. But he doesn't walk. He bounces. Whenever you see him walking somewhere, he looks confident.
129.
I don't know whether it's just me, but his darts, when they're hitting the board now, seem to be going in more upright than they were earlier on. Maybe he's had a bit of a change of
140.
weight distribution in his stem. I noticed that his dart has an add-on weight to the top of the barrel. Maybe he's changed that.
133.
If you've been winning all night, why would you change something?
You require 130.
That's my philosophy. But Richardson's not going to take another chance at the 138. I think that's possibly the 4th time he's left it tonight.
69.
It's Marsh who's left tops after
Scott,
12.
You require 40.
In darts lingo, that's very strong.
Game shot in the first leg.
And a 14 darter from Scott Marsh does give him the lead. You saw a little bit of a fist pump there. I think Scott Marsh is not only bouncing as he walks and looking confident, I think he's feeling confident about his chances.
It's James to throw first. Game on.
Performance of the night so far does go to James in beating Colin Monk with the only ton plus average of the night so far. I have to be straight in saying that I expected more than one. It's up to these guys to deliver another. We could get it in this match.
180.
And that's one of the ways you can deliver a ton plus average, by getting lots of them. I think if you were looking at the 180 markets in this match, you'd have to fancy James. His tendency of getting 180s is stronger than that of Scott Marsh. Even though before this evening began, their 180 ratio was the same.
123.
My experience of watching these two play, I would definitely say that Richardson is more likely.
$140. James, you require 130.
The advantage of throw in this match belongs to Marsh. But in this leg, it's Richardson who should win it.
57.
Not just because he threw first, because he has thrown better. In these positions in his first game of the night against Barstow, he was hitting something big. He was approaching brilliantly.
59. James, you require 56.
These are the times where you see James miss a couple of shots at double because he's under no pressure to hit it. Step to the left and hit double 10. That's the script.
36.
I think he hits it next time. Looking at my darting crystal ball because he is going to be under pressure this time.
85.
Somewhat under pressure.
James, you require
Marsh
20.
will have expected more than that. Getting closer.
No score.
But this is a really good chance for Marsh to double the lead.
Scott, you require 100.
He spent a few more seconds at the back of the room there because he didn't expect another shot in this leg. Treble 16 maybe. He's going to go use the 20s to leave double 12. And it wasn't really that close.
55.
And those darts are definitely
James,
going
you
in different to
require
what they
20.
did earlier. Double 10.
Game shot on the second leg.
Well,
James
a little
Richardson.
bit of eye-rolling action going there from Ruthless, and I think that's because he missed double 10 so many times, and when he eventually hit it, it didn't go in straight, but it's where the point ends
Third
up.
leg,
That's
it's
the most
Scott to
important
throw
thing.
First. Game on.
That's the angle he wants, for it to go in quite flat.
177.
Full tribute to our referee, Owen Binks, who has refereed every game this week.
140.
By the end of the week, he will have refereed 105 games of darts. Not 105 legs. 105 games.
100.
We'll bring you the statistic towards the end of Saturday night as to how many legs we've played for the week. There'll be quite a few.
59.
So the next time you play down the local and someone says to you, oh, can you mark this next game for me? And you think, I don't want to do it. Think about Owen and how many games he's done this week.
100.
First start for James. The prime position is not the way that first start was in there, but he's still so good enough to be able to craft a 140.
92.
Well, James leaving himself on 162 from 302. Hitting a 140, I have to say it's a tactical mistake.
122. Scott, you require 32.
He's having to rely on misses from Marsh, and that's a dangerous game to play. Double 8.
16.
Well, this
James,
is
you require
such a big
40.
chance. Tops. Does he move? Yes, he does. More this time.
Game shot
Oh,
on the
that is
third
really
leg.
smart.
James
He's really
Richardson.
measuring his shots well. Richardson is positioning himself to be the top dog tonight. But that move to the left on the oche, it's more exaggerated now. He's having to measure his way to
James
that
to
20
throw
bet.
first. Game on.
You would assume that someone would stay at the same position on the oche for every double. James Richardson is educating all of
140.
us. He's found a key to success on double 10. It's not just stepping to the left. It's figuring out how much he needs to step.
100. $38.
Through the first 3 days in Group A, which James was involved in, we had a grand total
83.
of 126 180s. Very, very good indeed.
140.
We did have so much quality in Group A. The best group we've seen so far. It was stacked with talent, with the likes of Monk, himself, Richardson, of course, Adams, who came through it, Burness, Richie Burnett, former world champion, Thornton, former major champion in 3 different events.
100.
We expected quality and we got it. And in this match, I expected the short-statured, somewhat trundling away from the hockey brilliance of James Richardson, and that's what we're getting. The fact that he's averaging in 95 range
44.
and has still got more in the tank says that he's in a good place with his
83.
game. The modern amateur darts European champion, the belt holder, is looking at 3-1. That is exactly what he gets. Look at his eyes when he walks to the board, when he hits a shot like that. He does not take his eyes off that winning double until the dart comes out. That's the sign of a professional.
Game on.
I am very, very disappointed in you, James, because I know he watches these matches back. So take heed of this,
60.
my friend from Rushton in Northamptonshire. Next time you come here, bring the belt. Everybody wants to see the belt. He won it against John O'Shea back in December at the Dawn, where Modern Amateur Darts was launched. And the whole thing about winning the belt, James, is take it with you. Put it on show. Stick it on your waist. Be proud of it. I wonder who he's going to defend it against. Of course, COVID has put pay to defences for now, but they will happen. And Richardson is looking very, very good. Back in this leg, courtesy of that maximum.
$100.
Well, that dart wasn't meant for the small 20. I think it was meant for the 60, but it slipped out of his hand.
100.
Maybe disappointed with that. First dart was so good. Same position as the last visit. A deficit of 21. That's 2 of them. Treble 19.
139.
And in order to trouble that 62 that Scott has left for the leg, he fancies 140 here.
140.
Ask and
Scott,
ye shall receive.
62.
Hit this, or you're toast. Double 16 with a snarl.
30.
And he might be toast.
James, you require
The leg
40.
difference is going to change for both of them if this goes. Back to double 10.
30.
Doesn't work this time. He pulled that dart. He was in the
You
same
require
position as last
32.
time, but he's pulled it a good centimetre inside. That was not a good dart. And neither was that. That's bust the loss.
No score.
He can't believe it. And he hits it
James,
again
you require
with the
10.
wasted dart at the end. Double
Game,
5 is
shot
in
of the
though.
match.
And that is a
James
16
Richardson.
dart break in the last leg of the match. James Richardson is now top of the table on his own with an undefeated 6 points. He will have a chance of being undefeated for the day when he takes on Chaz Barstow in game number 9. But as you can see there from the statistics, I don't think they're lying to us this time. The doubles percentage down at 28.5%, but the average up at 96. He's playing at a level that no other player is attaining tonight. That is a fact. We're going to take a short break now, but we will come back with my game of the night. It is the Monk Derby, father versus son, in a few moments' time. Morning and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. We've passed the hour of midnight, so we're into Friday morning here in the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us on Sporty Stuff TV or via the Online Darts YouTube channel. And we go into our next match, which is my match of the day. How often do you get to see father and son going at it in sport? Well, in darts, you do every now and again. James Richardson, as you can see with the table on the bottom left of your screen, 6 points undefeated. Scott Marsh, after his first defeat to James, is in second. Arron Monk looking to join Scott in that sort of region, but Chaz and Colin at the foot of the table have work to do. These two will have played many, many matches together, against each other. You name it, they've done it. But I can't possibly fathom what it's like to play your father in a competitive setting. I was nervous enough watching my dad play in the same pairs team as myself when I was in my early 20s. Well, Arron is now 31 years of age, and we could talk about the times where he watched his father play at Lakeside. And we'll get into that in the course of the game, I'm sure.
To throw first.
There is just something about this, isn't there? And it started already. He doesn't want to lose to his dad, believe me. Did you see the focus of Colin? He was having none of that.
140.
This is exactly why this is my match of the group. He's loving this. Now, Arron Monk has the better form right now. He has
85.
the likelihood of winning this match, but that is no guarantee of a victory. Can you imagine the bragging rights if Colin beats his son? And look at Arron's expression. He knows that it's coming. The wily veteran, Colin Monk, wants this, and he's going to go about it in a very focused
57.
way. They have played each other in competitive darts many, many times, of course, like I said at the start. But in ranked events in the PDC, they've played each other twice.
60.
Once in 2008 in a Players' Championship in October of that year, where Colin won 3-1.
60.
And the next time was
Colin,
won by Arron when the
121.
format was changed to best of 11 legs, and he won 6 legs to 5. Colin has a choice here. 25 maybe? Well, that makes the total very small. Make sure you don't miss the 3.
113.
Very, very good. Either side of that 3, he would have busted it and he would have gone back to 121.
59.
Maybe
Colin,
Arron's just using this first leg as a sighter to try and mount his assault in the next leg, because he is massively behind here.
Four.
He will have another crack at it. 3 games remaining tonight. This one, Barstow versus Richardson.
140.
And then Monk
Colin,
will bring us
4.
to a close against Scott Marsh.
Game shot on
Doesn't
the first
miss.
leg.
And
Colin
a
Monk.
very, very tidy hold in 16 darts there. So there were a few smiles from Arron Monk in that first leg. He's embedded himself now and needs to get serious
Second leg,
all of a
it's
sudden.
Arron to throw first. Game on.
I do get the feeling that the little jumping around his dad at the start of the match might make social
82.
media. I don't think that kind of behaviour would have gone down very well with some other players on tour. Can you imagine? Now I'm really starting to twist the knife here a little bit. Can you imagine if he did that to Kevin
85.
Painter? If he did that to Peter Manley? If he did that to Michael Van Gerwen? I think there would be a slightly different reaction.
60.
Some things you can get away with when it's family. But I think the best thing about that was the reaction of Monk. He gave nothing
54.
away. It's almost like he expected it from Arron. Well, he did raise him.
97.
I'd be really interested to hear how Arron is feeling in this game.
60.
He's had a lot of success in playing the Online Darts Live League this year. He's won 2 Group A phases. He won Week 1
58.
and Week 8. He will argue that he should have won Group A this week. But he didn't. He came up 1 game short. And that's why he's playing his dad tonight.
95.
He could have been watching Martin Adams playing Colin Monk right now. But it's Martin who's got his feet up, getting ready for Saturday night.
100.
Now 171 is the magic number here. You see that action of Monk is old school. The sideways hand and the pushing
41.
motion.
Arron, you require
And that last dart resulted in a non-finish. Those 2 darts result in a tops.
84.
And at which point is he going to recognise tonight that the tops has got to be fixed? Every dart he's gone at tops with has gone low.
98.
His double tens
Arron,
have got
you
him out of
require
jail.
20. Game shot on the second leg.
And it has
Arron
done
Monk.
so again. If you are going to be good at a double that splits down from something you keep missing, well, you've got to keep hitting it. But if you keep missing the other one, you
Third
might
leg, it's
start giving
Colin
chances
throw
to your
first.
opponent.
Game on.
He's fortunate that his dad was not on a smaller number than 166. Terrific darts.
180.
Terrific darts. Got a 180 in the first leg of the contest. Got one in the third.
78.
Four very strong words in sport and indeed life.
100.
When you see someone playing at this level, I think it's fair to say we can utter those words for Colin.
80.
You've still got it. He can still play. Yes, he hasn't played Challenge Tour or any huge competitive action in the last few years, but he can still play.
$57.
I think his temperament, not just tonight, but when he played in week 2 as well, in phase 1, I think he conducted himself brilliantly.
100. Colin, you require 160.
And he will recognise when Arron is frustrated. He knows him better than anyone. Look at this. Is he going to hit it? Fancies it.
139.
He went for it. He'll be thinking, why did I go for that? Oh, yeah, that's right. I just wanted to do it against him. If it was anybody else, he might have hit a 10 or an 18. And Arron is looking a little bit tired.
81.
Approaching
Colin, you
12:30
require
in the morning
25.
here in the UK. It's not a usual time to be playing darts. So you will have been programming your rest very well. That was a very loose dart there from Colin. That almost bust the score in one dart.
Game shot on the third leg.
Well,
Colin Monk.
A little bit of a wave and of an apology there, because if he'd have got the treble 14 after missing the single 9, he would have given Arron another visit. But as it
It's Arron
stands,
to throw first.
it all added up to the
Game
right
on.
25.
57.
If Arron's darts continue to go the way they have the last leg and a bit, Monk is going to get a chance to win this match. Because I say Monk has got a chance, I mean Colin. Colin is averaging in the mid-80s, which is better than his son. He's a good 5 or 6 better than Arron, who looks very frustrated. He's in again. Looking for his third 180.
180.
And those new darts of his are definitely working in that department. He is playing the better of the two.
46.
And a loss here to Colin would be damaging to Arron's chances. He would go into a situation where he's lost 2 matches and only won the 1.
140.
He's been great on that treble 20.
$58.
Arron has got no resistance.
Colin, you require 138.
It's just not there in this match. He'd love to hit a 60 and a single 18. Well, that's 35, which leaves 103.
54.
84 when he returns. And Monk's got to find something. 123 behind it.
83. Colin, you require 84.
Bare minimum, really, to get to a finish, but it is a big out. And with the way he's playing in this match, you don't fancy he's going to get that. He might not even get a look at it. Oh, and for the second time, going for the northwest corner, he has pulled the dart low.
76. Arron, you require 157.
Does get a look at this. And I just didn't have any confidence that it was going to be hit.
57. Colin, you require 8.
Double 4 to be 3-1 up. Now, what does he do guide-wise? That's quite a flat dart. He might have to go for the bottom portion.
Game shot on the full flag. Colin.
Perfect measurement, in the words of the great John Gwynn. Perfect measurement. That's what that shot was. 3-1 up, and now has lots of chances to get his first one of the night.
To throw first. Game on.
Colin will throw first as well. I keep thinking it's night time. It's actually the morning.
80.
Averaging 88 to Arron's 77. Arron is a better player than that. When he's got to a double, he's been all right. 50% when he gets there. He just hasn't scored heavily enough to give himself the chances.
100.
Arron looks flat to me, and maybe he is suffering after not getting through Group A for the very first time.
40.
He's very used to getting through Group A, then not having to play it on a Thursday or a Friday, whether it be during the day or the night time.
60.
He's going to need a really, really good response. Either to win from this position or to beat Scott Marsh in the last game of the night. And, of course,
45.
Playing tomorrow night from 10 o'clock. We will be on the air at 10 p.m. British time. And the same on Saturday night for the finals.
45.
Don't forget about tomorrow when we are playing from 9:30 in the morning. 15 more games in Group C to see who comes through that group. I'm pretty sure Kevin Burness is going to get through with the position he's in.
83.
But as for this group, James Richardson's in a very strong position. The rest of them are going to be fighting it out over the course of the next 12 matches that are left in this group. Could be very tight. If anything, Arron's average has slipped even more in this leg. Good line, but the weight
97
is short until the last dart. He is first to a finish. But sometimes you'd rather be on 193.
100.
Oh, that's a really aggressive last dart. A lot of people might have gone for the 25 and bull to try and get below 130. I think Colin knows that he got the upper hand very early in this match. I think he's won this match mentally.
72. Colin, you require 93.
Now he's just got to win the match on the board. .25 trying to set up the guaranteed shot at the bullseye, and he's got a bumper. Oh, the
59.
line just suffered at the end.
Arron, you require
So a match
68.
start has been missed. He thought the match was over. It was such a perfect guide. Double 16. Not able to save it. And Monk, who
Colin,
gets a very flat
34.
lie, might go straight for this, because if he misses it low, he can use it as a guide. Well, that negates that. Double 8 for his third match start.
18.
Also missed.
Arron, you require 32.
Double 16 to win in 8 visits. Has to move. That one is hiding the bed a little bit, and it's hiding even more now. This will need a miracle to find the top bin from the right-hand side. Wave the magic wand, Arron. Cast a spell.
On the fifth leg. Arron
That
Monk.
is a very good dart, and his dad in the background just giving it a nice little nod of approval. I have to say, I know how Arron's darts behave, and that was as good as it looked. Brilliantly done from Arron Monk
Arron to
save the match.
Game on.
Maybe that's the tiny bit of injection
54.
that he could use to somehow get out of jail here. How will Colin respond after missing the bull for the match? And then missing double 8 as well, and double 17.
180.
Don't underestimate just how much Arron will think now that he can win from this position. He was given a bit of a birthday present
125.
with his dad missing darts. There are, of course, other examples of sons playing fathers in darts. On the Pro Tour right now, there are a father and son combination who have their tour cards. Steve and John Brown.
45.
Mentioned
Arron, you
James
require
and Josh
167.
Richardson. There's also a very good father-son combination in my home county of Northumberland. Current Pro Tour player Chris Doby and his
59.
very capable father Gordon Doby. And Chris Doby's uncle Arthur is a very, very good player as well. So sometimes darts is a family affair, not just fathers and sons, but uncles and cousins.
121. Arron, you require 108.
Well, Arron Your dad is tapping you on the shoulder in leg 6. Wants to stay on the 60. That was a good plan. Double 14.
Game shot on the 6th leg.
Terrific
Arron
shot
Monk.
from Arron Monk. And unexpectedly, we are going to the 7th leg. Can Arron Monk somehow get himself out of jail after surviving match start?
Colin to throw first.
He's going to have to do it against the throw, though.
Game on.
One of the great qualities of sports people, no matter what the sport, you have to sometimes win ugly.
100.
Arron is capable of averaging 35 more than this. He's currently
97.
averaging 77. But we all have bad games now and again. If you can still win with that average, that's a good thing.
59.
And it will make him feel better knowing that he still has one more match after this. Colin does not. So if he does lose this leg, 4 matches, 4 losses for the night. And he is the first person to complete his quota.
$60.
Just hasn't recovered since missing multiple match darts. It's a funny old thing, isn't it, playing family?
43.
I don't know from experience, but Arron has not been himself in this match. He's been working too hard. He's had no rhythm.
140.
And he's in trouble again. Well, if he does lose 4-3, he might feel worse than if he'd lost 4-1.
26. Colin, you require 142.
Is he going to be put out of his misery? Is he going to stay on 2 points, Arron? Is he going to be joined on 2 points by his dad? If Colin does win this match, we'll have 3 players on 2 points. Barstow and the Monks. Sounds like a band, doesn't it?
120.
Barstow and the Monks. Double 11 is left. And he's guaranteed a 4th and 5th match dart. He'll be hoping he gets rid of it sooner rather than later.
100. Colin,
Writing is on the wall, and I'm not talking about the signage. Double 11.
Game shot down the match.
And age
Colin
wins
Monk.
over youth in this one. That one goes down to Colin. His quota is done for the night. 4 matches completed, and he wins his final fixture of the night to get 2 points. He will have to have a very, very good night tomorrow night if he has any chance of making the top 3. But as you can see there, he was the better player in the average, and he was very steady on the checkouts. Ultimately, he did miss match darts, but he got one eventually at double 11 to get his 2 points. We're going to have Chaz Barstow against James Richardson next, and this one could possibly be the fastest game of the night, so don't go away. We'll be back in a few shakes. Hello and welcome back, and thanks for staying with us at this early hour of Friday morning. We have 2 more matches for your darting entertainment to finish us off for this session in Group B. We've had 8 matches, so let's go into match number 9 now. Chaz Barstow against James Richardson. Both of the players are finishing their practice darts now, and they will finish their 4 matches for the night in this one. As you can see, James Richardson is atop the table after not losing all night long. 3 wins from 3. Barstow, who found his first win in his 3rd match, is now off the foot of the table for the first time. And he will bolster his chances of getting through this group if he can defeat James Richardson, not only for the first time tonight, but the first time in the games that they have played in the Live League this year, as they have played before. And it wasn't that long ago in Phase 1 that they played, because
177.
It was in Week 8, and that's an early statement from James.
93.
Seems to me like everybody has put a target on the back of Chaz Barstow. What's he done to people? Well, James has this
140
intensity about him. I've already talked about that. But he has this likelihood of
81.
playing his best darts at the end of a session. When he gets himself in there, he is extremely accurate. Now, in
96.
beating Chaz Barstow twice in Week 8, he had averages of 99.94 and 89.81.
James, you require 88.
He won by 4 legs to 2 on both occasions. So that begs the question, does he have Chaz's number? Well, another single will leave tops.
40.
Or he could just set up 48. Unfortunately for James, there isn't a double 24.
James, you require 48.
Double top, eventually.
Game shot on the first leg.
Maybe he
James
was just
Richardson.
toying with us, because that is a very scrappy-looking 15 darter. I can't believe I've just said that. But he was definitively the best player in that leg, starting really, really well against Chaz. The way that people have performed against this man tonight,
120.
he has not been able to put a foot wrong. They've played against him with full respect and the expectancy of him hitting them back. Well, he's been under pressure since the first 3 darts thrown against him tonight from Scott Marsh.
84.
I think that's the mark of how these players feel about Chaz Barstow now. He's not an unknown quantity anymore.
96.
He's very much somebody that everybody knows something about. This is better.
140.
It's very, very good to leave 157 after 9.
40. Chaz, you require 157.
6 darts for it. And if he has had a miss tonight, it's been in the 5.
44.
He's been pulling the dart slightly to the left. He's fortunate that in this second leg, James has had no success yet.
60. Chaz, you require 113.
So we can stroll to the finish line here. Or power to the finishing line with a 1-1-3 checkout. And in kind, he finds a 15 darter in leg number 2. So this one has got the potential at 1-1 to be the best contest of the night. How far are we going to go? Back into leg 3 we go. 2 holes. So as you were, it's now best of 5.
140.
To check all of the results from today, And indeed, some of the clips from this week, including the 9-darter
100.
from James Richardson. You can look at the Twitter address in the bottom right of your screen, at Darts Live League. And the other social channels of Online Darts on Facebook,
100.
Instagram, and of course the Twitter feed as well.
60.
I likened Chaz Barstow in Phase 1 to Ronnie Baxter a little bit. That's a compliment because throughout Ronnie's career,
66.
he was a very, very prolific title winner in both the BDO and the PDC and indeed the WDF.
99.
It's not just boxing that's had lots of organisations with 3-letter abbreviations. Don't get me started on darts politics.
59.
But he has the dart to the side at the start of his throw and he delivers it straight in the end. He
100.
straightens the dart out as it propels forward.
136.
Stay there.
96.
Somewhat
require
quick dart at the single
142.
16. Another one of those, but that's flattened out, so he has to go to the angle. If that dart has stood up, he would have had a great chance to leave tops.
86.
But nothing seems to be going his way tonight.
40.
Even when he throws a good dart, it flattens out and covers the bed for him. You can see how cheesed off he is. Double 10. We've been here before.
20.
But the dart isn't there.
Chaz, you require 56.
Is Chaz getting his chance now?
Game shot on the
He
third
gets
leg.
his chance.
Chaz Barstow.
And when the darts go above 5 visits, that's where you will see chances missed and chances taken. That's what Chaz has just done. Chaz, the chance
Chaz
taker.
to throw
2-1 up.
first. Game on.
Well, I have been reliably informed on social media
55.
in the last hour or so that Chaz is called the Prince. And apparently he's got a dart shirt
140.
that is, in my opinion, should never see the light of day. The one he's wearing, I'm all for that.
59.
It's just his name. It's got a bit of design about it. It's athletic fitting. Yeah, that's all right by me. But the one that someone's posted, yes, I'm talking to you,
140.
Stuart Munger, on Twitter. That dart shirt should be confined to the bottom of a basement.
96.
It has a picture of a royal subject on the back, a caricature, and it says the Prince Chaz Barstow.
140.
Not a fan of it, I'm afraid, but I am a fan of Chaz. I think he's a great player.
81. James, you require 81.
But it's James who has scored his way to the opportunity here. Another one of those will be fine.
49.
Oh, that was close. That was way too close to that treble. If he'd have clicked into the green, he would have left double one.
140.
He
James,
counted
you
himself
require
very lucky that
32.
he didn't.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
And he takes
James
full
Richardson.
advantage as he goes under 15 darts once again. And when he does that, he wins the leg. This one, as expected, is very tight. It's 2-2 after 4.
Fifth leg, it's James to throw first. Game on.
Both averaging 89, but it's going up.
140.
Third 140 of the match. Sorry, a 7th 140 for James.
140.
And a third 140 for Chaz. I guess the whole Prince Charles shirt that I mentioned in the last leg has something to do with being called Chaz. Because he's called Charles Barstow, isn't he?
58.
Chaz sounds better. It's more jazzy.
$100.
It's all part of the darting product these days. You've got to have the talent, the shirt,
58.
the nickname, the walk-on song. You've got to have the lot. In the case of some of the top guys, you've got to have the merchandise as well.
141.
Well, he's looking for another sub 15 leg. He may have played poorly
57. James, you require
in leg number
60.
3 to gift a leg to Chaz Barstow, but since then he has been really, really good.
Game shot on the
Superb.
5th leg. James
15 darter
Richardson.
from James Richardson gets him the lead back at 3-2, and he is now within one leg of a perfect night / perfect morning, because it's now Friday morning, of course. Chaz Barstow has to stop him.
6th leg, it's Chaz. to
Leg
throw
6 coming up.
first. Game on.
Here
93.
you see again that dart hitting the board, and it just died a little bit in the air and it flattened out. That's why he didn't stay on the treble 19.
97.
Throw of Richardson's very compact. When you see him on his next throw, everything is so close together. His right
58.
elbow is very close to his ribs. It doesn't separate too much. It's not rangy like some other throws you will see.
140.
Some people will extend their hand and their arm really out there, but James doesn't do that. Everything's really compact.
58.
Same can be said for Chaz, actually. They're two very good throws.
135.
But yet again, Richardson is having a strong display at the end of a session. He finished sessions amazingly well this week in Group A.
58.
107.59 in beating Arron Monk on Monday. That was his best of the week. 72 left. And he's going to line up tops to finish Barstow off.
89.
And if he does, he's going to have 8 points and a leg difference of +9. He will have 1 foot in the finals.
94.
And definitely be the
James,
favourite
you
to win the
require
group.
40.
Tops it is.
Game shot
Just
on the match.
too good.
James
And the average will
Richardson.
soar with that 13 darter at the very end. Barstow has not had a very good night, and it all started badly, losing the first 9 legs of his evening. But he has got himself some points. He's going to have a very good night tomorrow. There you see Richardson's average, 95.55. Again, it's 44% on the doubles. Just consistent, strong, very, very good. And he's undefeated. He wins tonight's group. Will he get through in the top spot? You'll see a little bit later on tonight. But first and foremost, we have to bring to a close our Thursday night action. Arron Monk will play one more match against Scott Marsh. And that comes up after the break. Hello and welcome back to our coverage of the Online Darts Live League here. And James Richardson has finished up his quota of 4 matches and he has been undefeated this evening. Chaz Barstow has finished also, but he's only managed 2 points, the same as Colin Monk, who was also finished. 2 more players will finish their quota now. Scott Marsh and Arron Monk have 1 match remaining against each other. And as you can see from our table on the graphic there, Richardson on 8, Marsh in second spot with 1 match remaining. So if he can win against Arron, he will confine him to a 3-way tie for 2 points in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Marsh, in getting to 6, would have possibly 1 foot himself into the finals, as we'll see 3 progress from this group. A 4-point gap going into tomorrow would be a very strong position.
First. Game on.
Arron Monk right now needs to find something. It's been a very up and down evening for him. It did not go his way in a match against his father. He did not play well. Only averaged 75. He lost a good game against James Richardson. He troubled him at times. And he played exceptionally well against Chaz Barstow in Game 3 in averaging 98.56. That's the 2nd best average of the night.
130.
That seems like a long time ago. Now, Scott Marsh, who started with a 4-0
60.
against Chaz Barstow as well. So it's these 2 guys that confine Barstow to 2 4-0s at the start of play.
100.
This is a very, very important match. Based on the league position as
45.
it stands,
Arron, you require 145.
you'd probably expect these 2 to get through. Hello.
125.
Misses top throw 145, and he's playing a little bit faster here. And I don't know if that's going to suit Scott Marsh. To me, I think he's got a tired arm.
41. Arron, you require
Those darts
20.
are not being delivered pure. Double 10 is
shot in the first leg.
it's just a
Arron
matter of
Monk.
time before that double 10 was delivered, because double 10 has been his best friend tonight. Sometimes the doubles will not be your best friend, but you need 1 double that you can count on. And double 10 has been that for him tonight. 1-0.
Game on.
Just watch out for these darts going in. That's upright for Scott. That's not how he likes his darts to go in.
42.
Since he won against Chaz Barstow, it's been hard work. He played all right against Colin Monk in winning 4-3 in Game 4.
51.
Even though he averaged 87 against Richardson in Game 7, I just get the feeling he was starting to struggle there.
$100.
That's a little bit better. Nice and straight. And when things aren't going to plan, sometimes the best thing is to just try and stay straight to start with,
57.
and then worry about the weight of the dart after that. But in a short format match like this, it's hard to make improvements on the fly.
$60.
Well, Marsh, when he returns, has to start on the 19s.
$85.
I don't see any logic in starting on 20s on 299, because a 140 leaves 159, and nobody likes that number. So he does the right thing, takes the 9 off the end.
59.
And even though he didn't come up with a treble, at least the thought process was good.
$100.
In a little over 8 hours' time, we will return for the climax of Group C. which is headed up by Kevin Burness. There will be 2 players through Group C. I'm sure that Kevin Burness will get through that group. He has a huge gap at the top of the table.
58.
The rest of that field will duke it out to see who could join him and stick around for another day to have an opportunity to make the top half of this weekly group to get into Champions Week, which is week 5.
57. Arron, you require 150.
He's not going to look at 3 bulls. He's a bit of a maverick player, and sometimes he will look at the weird and the wonderful. But on that occasion, he did the right thing.
58. Scott, you require
This
98.
exchange could be key. They've both delivered 18 darts. Treble 18 now. Now, what does Arron Monk do here? He does fancy a double-double finish, so he might go for the 60. That's the aggressive play. Mind made up. Double 18. Or that for double 16.
60.
Did that earlier in the week. Hit the tops.
Scott,
and missed the double 16.
40.
It's so strange. I'll get on to a point in a second because
Scott
Scott Marsh has taken tops. He was shown the way by Arron Monk on how to hit tops. This one is level at 1-all. It's one of the most important fixtures of this entire group because it's all about being in position going into day 2. When Arron Monk has had tops to win a leg, he has not hit it all night long.
44.
But when he needs it to leave a double, he hits it right in the middle. You saw a little bit of anger from Arron as well. He does have a tendency to get upset with himself.
$57.
I'd like to say it's an isolated incident, but my nose would be growing if I said that. He does have a little bit of trouble sometimes
100.
managing his adrenaline levels. If he was able to manage that, I think he would win more matches.
180.
Well, there is a 180 in seems like forever since we last saw one from him. I think that's why he's been getting frustrated.
60.
Another one would leave tops. What he's doing here is he's employing the same sort of tactic that Scott Marsh was doing in the last leg. He's trying to stay straight. He's trying to let the darts fall into place. But right now, I just get the feeling that Arron is trying too hard.
60.
Everybody wants to win, but in this game, you've got to want to win but not try. You've got to let your autopilot do the talking. Well, this time he went 2 bulls for 100.
62.
Somewhat maverick behaviour, but it wasn't required with Scott Marsh on 2-3-2.
$82. Arron, you require 58.
Every dart player in this group would expect to take 120 in 2 visits. Double 10.
48. Scott, you require 150.
There'll be some head shaking in this room if this goes. I didn't expect it to, with Scott averaging very low.
60. Arron, you require
I think
10.
we're starting to see a bit of ring rust from Scott Marsh.
Game shot
Double
on the
5
third leg.
takes
Arron
care
Monk.
of that, and you can see what Arron Monk is trying to do here. He's trying to G himself up to try and get these extra points to get on the same mark as Scott going into Friday's action.
Fourth-legged Scott to throw first. Game on.
Scott played well early, as did Arron. Arron faltered. But if Arron does win this match, he'll finish on 4 points, like Scott, behind Richardson on 8, and it would then be up to Barstow and Monk to catch them tomorrow. Oh, and that's 114 on the floor. Sometimes that does happen. If it's not in the board, it doesn't count. That third dart has taken every single bit of momentum off the second dart and the third. Horrendous fortune. And you hope for Arron's sake that that doesn't derail his mindset.
58.
There was a famous incident at a World Championship back in 2015 where Gary Anderson was playing against Phil Taylor in the final, and he hit a treble 20,
60.
then another one, and then he hit another one, but it clattered with both of the other darts, and it was 180 on the floor. Well, it does happen
60.
to the greatest players. What did Gary Anderson do in that set? He won the set. He didn't let it get to him. And he won a 13-set world final. That's what you call strength of mind.
130.
Gary Anderson eliminated from the Premier League this week. So I wonder when we're going to see Gary again. Maybe at
87.
the Super Series next month.
Scott, you require 91.
Will we see Arron Monk again in this leg? Maybe not.
59.
Got to use this visit as a nice grounding point for the next couple of legs. Keep a good rhythm, a nice throw, make yourself feel good. That's really good.
140. Scott, you require 32.
Even if he loses the leg, he will feel better because of that 140.
Game shot on the
There you
fourth
see
leg.
Scott Marsh levelling up at 2 legs all. We're starting to get into the clinching part of this game. And Arron Monk, like I said, with that 140 at the end, should feel better about his chances now with him throwing first.
$45.
Chance for Marsh to get some distance. I've watched Scott Marsh play a lot of darts over the last 12 months.
78.
And I genuinely believe that he is struggling to get the darts to land the way he wants tonight. Irons have been going in the same all week long. Little kink to the right, slightly upright. He's trying to get them to land just a little bit on top of each other.
100.
But if he was going to grade his performance tonight, Arron, well, he would probably say F. But in real terms,
90
from an outside point of view, I would give him probably a D, considering I know what he can do.
$100.
Steady from Marsh. Picking up one big treble per visit. And when your opponent's not getting much in the way of big scores,
42.
that's putting pressure on him. Monk will explode if he loses this match. There's that big treble again.
99.
Picking off that one. Getting down to a finish after 12. That's solid darts. Got to go to the 18s.
57.
He was forced to do the double switch.
Scott, you require 124.
And if Marsh can break the throw here, what a chance to get an extra 2 points and get to 6 for the night. And with all due respect to Scott Marsh, knowing how he can play at his best level,
56.
he's been way under
Arron,
par
you
tonight as
require
well.
164.
Just imagine if Monk of an Arron variety
100.
and Monk of a Colin variety and Barstow
Scott, you require 68.
all sit on 2 points, and Marsh and Richardson have got 6 and 8, respectively. Double top.
48.
Now Monk has a chance to get the lead. He's not played
Arron,
well
you
in this
require
leg.
64.
His checkouts are around about 25% for this match. He needs to improve on that right here. He's going to have to be perfect. Can he hit tops?
24.
He has had such a bad relationship with that pit
Scott, you
tonight.
require 20. Game shot
That
on the
one
fifth
is
leg.
right in the
Scott
top
Marsh.
corner. And for a second there, when Scott Marsh threw that dart, he thought it was going to sail into the double 6, which wouldn't have been the end of the story. He could have had a shot at double 4, but it did nestle into the double 10. He's
Sixth
one a leg
Scott
away
to
from
throw
another
first.
2 points.
Game on. $96.
He's at it again, just picking off that one treble. Arron Monk is cutting a very hollow figure.
44.
If he does lose this one, it's going to be a very empty walk back to the hotel. And as each dart is flung, he's getting closer to defeat.
177.
Especially with those 3. They're the best 3 darts that Scott Marsh has thrown in a good 2 games. And he's trying not to smile.
96.
I'd smile if I hit a 177. Big gap of 133. And he's still finding more.
134.
Supreme darts from the soft tip specialist. Said earlier when Arron was playing his dad that sometimes you've got to win
Scott,
ugly.
you required 94.
Well, this is the epitome of winning ugly, but what a way to do it. He could do it in 12. Going to get the set up.
54.
And Arron can do absolutely nothing about it. Maybe the result of playing a 4th consecutive day, maybe some tiredness has kicked in.
58.
He's going to have to respond on Friday night.
Scott, you require 40.
Because Scott Marsh is sitting at tops
Game
and
shot
hits
and
it
the
at the
match.
first time of asking.
Scott Marsh.
He finishes the night on 6 points. Arron finishes on 2 with his dad. And, of course, Chaz Barstow. James Richardson went undefeated and finished on 8 points. It's been a fantastic night in Group B, which will come to a climax tomorrow. But in just over 8 hours' time, we will finish Group C as well. There you see, 75 average for Monk, 77 for Marsh. We're going to bid you a good morning or a good night from wherever you are tuning in. So thank you very much for joining us. You see Richardson at the top of the table there. But we are going to bid you adieu for now. This is Paul the Asset Nicholson signing out. I will see you in a few hours and see you tomorrow night on Sporty Stuff TV.